back. March 5th. You gotta love March. Sadly, this morning we are without two great radio personalities.
American heroes, actually.
Oh, without a doubt. One, as angry as they come, star recruiter, Eastern Connecticut State University, recruited Rookie of the Year, Dominic Dow out of Terryville in the Little East, and the commish. And I really wish the commish was here because I'm down on baseball. Boy, if they've ever tried to ruin a sport, they've done it to baseball right now. I'm talking like this is rivaling raising the basketball rim to 12 feet or putting in a 4 and a 5-point shot, and like this is silly MTV Jam sort of stuff. It's not going to be long before the pitcher's wearing a helmet and they put a screen in front of them because God forbid somebody get hit with a baseball and they're playing baseball. This is like two-hand touch on the quarterback, which I don't think is in the distant future. But anyway, joined here by Loddy, the Dahnfather. The Dahnfather no hair product this morning. This segment brought to you by Skygazer Brewing.
I'm the only one that showered.
And Eleanor. How do you know?
I know.
And Eleanor Tax Associates, Jamie Leggett, heading into big ball game tomorrow on the bench for St. Paul. Loddy will be at his side, rooting the boys on, and hoping for a little bit of influence from the Falcon Nest.
I can tell you, Bobby, I'm really upset that Commish isn't here. The one time he could have his own headset, and he doesn't show up. That was his opportunity. He didn't take it.
Yeah, we're even going to let him sit down. The Commish. Anyway, you got to love March. You got to love March. Except for the trash product they've got going on in spring training. They're stepping on pizza boxes. You can only throw over a certain amount of times, and then the guy gets a running start, like a cartoon with the legs under him, like the Roadrunner. You got a pitch clock. That is just not fitting. It doesn't fit.
Pitchers are going to get hurt with that. Like they're just going to be rushed to throw. They're not ready.
That's what they want, right?
Yeah,
pitchers to get hurt with it.
15 seconds with a guy on base. Bobby Mack played more baseball than anybody. And you were a pitcher. How do you get ready in that amount of time? You're trying to hold a guy on. How many throws have I thrown to first base? Oh, if it's my second one, he basically gets a running start. And
pitchers
that I don't understand.
Pitchers want to work fast to get, and they want to work fast and stay ahead, right? So they want to work at a certain pace. You can't now dictate that pace with a rule. Like they don't want to take for every once in a while. Somebody takes forever. Wandy's not one of them, by the way. The guy's doing aerobics up there.
Did you see that? He struck out a guy in 20 seconds.
I know.
What about Scherzer? You see Scherzer the other day?
Yeah, he found a loophole there.
Yeah, he's the best when it comes to that. It's awesome.
And then not just those three rules, but the fourth one is not getting a lot of play just yet. But the shift thing, they still. That's to baby the guys who won't adapt to the 90-degree field and where the defense is playing. Abner Doubleday, maybe I got that one wrong, but I think he's the one said hit them where they ain't.
You're going way back on that one, huh?
Hit them where they ain't. So if five guys play on the right side of the field, hit it to the left side.
You know what they've already started to do? They're circumventing that rule too. They're moving the left fielder when there's a lefty up.
You can mess with
it. Like shallow right center, like a softball player would be. So there's still more than enough guys on the right-hand side. But
I never played softball. Can you tell me more about that?
I didn't either. I just know.
You did.
I just know we always. I just always know we won championships. That's all. When
they throw underhand, right?
They do. Philosophical. We said this a couple of weeks ago. Until they start at the minor league levels, doing away with the launch angle and all that stuff, what's really going to change? The ball's still going to be in the air most of the time, right?
Yeah.
Is anybody hitting ground balls anymore?
No.
So we're doing all this for ground balls that aren't hit.
And they're not going to be. You don't get paid to hit ground balls. That's what it comes down to, the money.
Arbitration and everything else.
You're not paid to do that. You're paid to hit the ball at the ballpark.
First of all, slow pitch softball, completely underrated. You look at the catchers, those guys are models of fitness right there. Second of all, when's the last time
Fran?
we've talked about spring training this much? And you guys are baseball purists. I'm not. And MLB is getting exactly what they want. Everybody's talking about baseball right now. Everybody. I didn't care about baseball 2 months ago or last spring training. Of
You
course,
know
now
your
the
Red Sox
have
are undefeated?
5-0.
I mean,
162 more.
you can't
That's it.
stop them. Isn't there a
can't.
college
Paxton's already hurt.
in the Southeast Conference? Isn't there a college whose practice field has a wall or a net out in the outfield that you have to hit it over?
We don't hit ground balls.
So that's where. So you get to the major leagues, and then all of a sudden you're going to change something that you've done forever. You coach at the youth level. You coach it the right way, right? You swing through the ball, whatever the case may be. But then there's these other trainers, quote unquote, that are emphasizing launch angle for 10 and 11-year-old kids.
yeah. They're
So
liars.
until that changes,
They're liars.
the game is going to suffer.
They're liars, and they're selling a product that, for some reason, parents buy into. You know, kids with, no forearms are trying to hit the ball in the air and whatever.
Speaking of spring training, we like this Volpe kid or what? Or Peraza?
Oh, my goodness.
Like I'm going into the season, and as you said, I do love baseball. But if the Yankees put Donaldson at third and IKF at short and Hicks out and left again, then there's nothing for me to get excited about because you're bringing back the same exact team that can't hit good pitching in October. But you put LeMahieu at third, one of the young kids at short, and Cabrera out and left. Nah, I'm excited a little bit about that possibility, but they don't have the guts or the courage to do it.
Well, they're starting to backtrack because Boone came out this week and said IKF could see some time in the outfield. What are we talking about?
That arm out in the outfield?
What are we talking about?
And that lack of range out in the outfield? How about we just trade them and play the young kids
Or cut him.
that can complement the Stantons and the LeMahieu's and the Torreses and the Judges? Get a little balance.
I saw something on Twitter this week, not to get off the three guys, because we've got three guys that are all better shortstops than IKF.
Yeah,
we got three guys.
Cabrera, Volpe, and Peraza.
Yeah,
Should
we
all
have
be
three
playing
guys.
three different positions, though. They should be on the field.
Okay, so then the other thing is, and this is what other teams would do because they're not waiting forever. The guy Dominguez, I saw on Twitter, somebody said, how much worse can Dominguez be than Hicks?
Exactly.
And you know how much worse he can be? He can't be.
He won't be.
He won't be. I mean,
If he
play
bats
him.
if he bats 240 and
I'll
hits
take him.
20 and 70, 20, 70, 240 with the speed and the defensive ability, he's a 10 times better player than Hicks already as a 21-year-old.
Scratch golfer.
Oh, yeah?
Hicks.
Oh, yeah. That was, who was he married to or engaged to? Somebody's daughter, a big golfer.
Who?
Hicks?
Wasn't it Hicks?
I don't know.
But even when he was hurt, wasn't he out there playing 36 holes a day?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Freaking guy.
Like LeBron. So, like, I remember when they signed him for 10 for 70, and you were all excited. You were doing laps around Pine Meadow Drive. You remember that? You were.
Yeah, I'll admit it, and I've said it on this show. It was like for $10 million, I thought he was going to be 250, 25, and 80 and play center field. So that would have been cheap money.
Yeah, you were out in the cul-de-sac with your wiffle ball bat and your Hicks jersey. He was so
I
excited,
think I did order a Hicks number 31.
right?
Hicks
No,
is
no, I
married
didn't.
to Tiger Woods' niece, Cheyenne.
See, you know what? Not bad by me, huh?
He looked
I
it
knew
up.
was-
Pretty good.
No, I didn't look it up. I
He
remember
did.
hearing about it. Oh, okay.
So April 17th, Boone and Cashman are going to be in Ridgefield, Connecticut, giving as a public speaking event, and it's titled "How to Build a Winning Team."
Surely you can't be serious.
I am serious. And don't call me Shirley.
Are they collecting tickets at the door, or are
Can we
they actually going
go?
to be on the
Well,
stage?
Angry Jay texted that to me and said, in all seriousness, in his 50s, goes, "Is that worth getting arrested for, you think?"
I need your help. I can't tell you what it is. You can never ask me about it later, and we're gonna hurt some people.
Whose car are we gonna take?
And I'm like, no, but maybe we take a ride and do the pod in the parking lot. April 17th,
I'm in.
Dewdrop's got to be on the way somehow, right? I mean,
Well, where is it? Ridgefield?
Ridgefield, Connecticut.
yeah, there's a way to get there. Sure.
Sure. Anyway, how to build a winning team. Brought back the same lineup as last year, and they're not going to play the fast kids.
Especially with the rule changes, with the they're trying to generate more speed on the bases
Athleticism.
with these rule changes, why wouldn't you put the guys in there that could move around the bases?
It's almost like the rule changes, like they went to the Indian spring training last year and said, all right, we're just going to play like these guys and make up rules to fit them because they do play fast. And their pitchers do want the ball, and they do get on the mound and throw strikes. And the guys do run, and they do hit it to the opposite field and on the ground.
I would have rooted for them if they weren't playing the Yankees in the playoffs.
Oh, without doubt. Hey, did I say any? Guardians. Hey,
I got you.
On serious question, like Boggs, Gwynn, are they as valuable now as they were when they played? Rod Carew?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Those single hitters would be dominant right now with the way they can spray the ball around the
Their
field.
on base percentage is
I'm
unbelievable.
talking, would they get paid like the guys that hit 50 home runs and hit 220?
Those guys did get paid back in the day, though.
So, hold on.
Yeah.
Okay, Boggs, Machado, blank check. Who are you giving more money to?
Oh, they're giving it to Machado.
Machado.
Well, I'm asking you.
They're giving it to Machado.
I'm asking you. Who would you give it to?
I want the guy that gets on base. With a guy on second base, that's a guy I want up at the plate because I know he's going to drive in a run or make a productive out if there's no outs.
Machado?
I'd
or
give it to
Boggsy?
Machado.
In that example, I would put Machado too. Yeah.
Okay.
I don't think Machado's an all or nothing guy. I think he's a hell of an all-around player. So for that example,
You know what I'm getting at, though.
No, I understand.
I'm talking
I understand.
bopper versus hitter.
Yeah, give me another third baseman that's all or nothing though, and I'll go Boggs.
Donaldson.
It's nothing or nothing.
I think he's, nothing or nothing.
Bad example. Devers or Boggs?
Well, Devers a good hitter, though.
I know. Another bad example.
But I'll take Boggs. Take Boggsy.
We're partial to the 80s, as everybody can tell.
Yeah. All right, enough baseball.
Yep.
Thank
Nobody
goodness.
cares.
Thank goodness.
Not yet.
Russell Westbrook on fire. He's staying hot.
I love it. We mentioned this morning. I mean, 0-5 the Clippers are since they got Westbrook. They were making a run. I think their best 10-game stretch of the year. They got into the fourth playoff position, I think. Russell Westbrook comes on the team 0-5. I mean, and the Lakers, by the way, are 5-4, which is not great, but they've won 2 games without LeBron, 1 game without AD, and they were four games under 500 when he left. I mean, it's just unbelievable what a I hate to use the word cancer, but it's what he is to a team. He just doesn't gel. And Mac, you mentioned the Draymond Green approach to playing defense. I mean, talk about that, but it's funny to watch an NBA player doing that to another all-time great.
Hall of Famer. He did
MVP.
guard a Hall of Famer.
Not to put you on the spot, why would the Clipper front office be enamored with him? And is he taking minutes away from somebody else that was like 0-5 in the 5 games? Who's he playing over?
Well, Wall's
or was
gone.
there
They
an
let
injury?
John Wall go,
Okay.
and he was hurt, so they were kind of piecemealing the point guard position before he left. They brought him in to stabilize the point guard position. Personally, I think they should just. Do I know everybody on the roster right now? No. Put him on the bench, have him play against the second unit, get himself a little confidence with the Clippers again, because right now he's going in there, and I mean, Paul George is great. Kawhi is great when he decides to play.
When they play, yeah.
I mean, they have the best 6 man of the year right now, Norman Powell. He's probably the leading candidate for 6 man of the year. He's one of the top 2 with Brogdon. So the fact that he just goes in there, and funny thing is, his turnovers haven't been too bad what they used to be. Like he had 2 the other night, 2 turnovers. But Mac mentioned before, you watch guys play defense on him, they're sitting back 20 feet. They're literally saying, shoot the ball.
He's a guard
And
in
he
the
freezes.
NBA that cannot shoot.
Well, so I think somebody got in his head a couple years ago, and it was his recent teammate, Pat Bev. So the both of them were bought out, released, whatever happened, right? Mm-hmm. If you're the Clippers, you want to win basketball games, and you already have Paul George and Kawhi and these type of guys. You signing Russell Westbrook or Beverly?
Beverly, and that's why I was asking the Dahnfather, why go down the Westbrook road? He was not needed for that team. You
Because
need
teams
that kind
can't help themselves.
They just can't. They
can't help
They
themselves.
still think he's a marquee name, and he. Again, you
It's
got
LA.
6'10" guys that can shoot, and then you got a guard.
Well,
You got
Loddy.
30 feet off him.
Loddy. LeBron wanted him. People think he's the best player of all time. Some people do. I'm not one of them. But, he wanted him. How'd that work out? people want those types of guys, and I mean, even the Yanks back in the day, like look
Yeah.
at these guys we're picking up. Cecil Fielder started opening day the year after we won a World Series. Do you remember this? 97. We signed Canseco. We pick up Juan Gonzalez.
Glenn
Like,
Allen Hill, yep.
you
all
got to
these guys.
take a shot at these guys that were good at one point and hope that you catch lightning in a bottle. And what if Westbrook went off? I mean, who's to say he wouldn't? Like, what if he started banking threes or something like that? Like, it's Russell Westbrook. He's a Hall of Famer. Jeremy Lin captured the NBA for 2 months, right? So they took a shot and they lost. They gambled and lost.
But you can move on quickly. I just don't play him as much. Right? You don't have to play him 30-plus minutes. What is LeBron up to anyway? I mean, you said that he wanted Westbrook. What's he doing now?
So LeBron's hurt. He can't play for 3 weeks in crunch time when he said these are the most important games of his career coming up. He was at a Kendrick Lamar concert the other night. Dancing. He was the dancing fool.
He was mobile?
Mobile. He was jumping around like he was like House of Pain over there. Looked like DMX.
Like you at the club?
Exactly. You know what I mean? Like it.
What's he saving it for?
Yeah, exactly. And like, it's not like he could hide. He was on a stage dancing, so everyone could see it was LeBron James.
And they're sitting out of the playoffs right now in the 11th spot, not even in the play-in right now. They're one game out of the play-in, and they're one game out of being in the 16th spot. That's how close the West
stinks,
the West
huh?
is, what is it, 5 games between 4th and 13th place. 5 games separates 4th to 13th seeds in the West.
And
That's unbelievable.
About a month ago, Memphis looked like they were cream of the crop, and they've had some issues non-basketball related with the Brooks and the Ja stuff that
Did you
just
see
came
what-
out now.
Did you
Like,
see what Brooks was wearing into the arena the other
Yes.
night?
basically nothing, right?
What's
Is it
the matter with that
suspenders?
guy?
Yeah. They've become the most unlikable team in the NBA, correct?
Yeah, the guy Brooks. Like who was talking to? Was it Shannon Sharp? Is it he got into it with him?
Yes.
And we were killing Shannon. I don't blame Shannon Sharp. That kid's a punk. He's an unlikable punk. And if you guys got to watch the what was it on Shannon Sharp? Was it a NFL like Football Life or something like that on NFL Network? The story of the Sharps is unbelievable. It came from nothing.
Nothing. The little shack house, right?
Yeah, they came from nothing. And one's a Hall of Famer, and the other one isn't too far. Actually, are they both?
No, I mean, Sterling would have. He
got hurt.
He just
He's
hurt his
Mattingly.
back or whatever it was, and like that Favre connection was something pretty special for a few years there. He was the best wide receiver in football, and they give the Cowboys a run for their money quite a few years. Never got over the hump against them, but yeah, you never even hear about him anymore. He just got bad luck with the body.
Anyway, Dylan, what's his name?
Dylan
Brooks, dude?
yeah.
Where'd he go? Oregon?
Yeah, and his backcourt mate is in other kind of trouble now too.
Who?
Dahnfather, Ja.
Oh, like in the NBA
Yeah.
backcourt mate. Yeah. So, like, number one, Brooks a jerk. He's not likable. And he's not like a villain like the Pistons were back in the day. He's just anything bad he does, I'd believe it because he just seems like a bad dude. Now, the other guy, who wouldn't like him? Energetic, athletic, seems like a team guy. Kind of reminds me of the juice Derrick Rose had coming in, but he seems like he's about 6'8" to me. Isn't he like
just because he's so
6'2"?
skinny,
So
and
hyper-athletic.
and his jumping ability is crazy.
If you look at some of the pictures, like if just do like a search of him and look at some of the pictures, the balls he makes
Yeah.
Dominique look like he took layups.
I watched his game the other night. I do tend to watch more NBA now against the Lakers. I think he set a Grizzlies record for points, and I think he had 28 points in the third
Yeah,
quarter.
he did.
And they couldn't stop
Unheard
him.
of.
They knew he was driving. They couldn't stop him, and now he's suspended for 2 games at least.
Yeah, he's the only one that's stopping himself right now. It seems like. I hope he can get his act together because he is fun to watch.
As much as I don't like the Stephen A. Smith of the world, if you watch his latest rant, like he had a good rant about like stop trying to be a thug. Like you're a great player, you're a role model. Like stop trying to be a pretend thug and
His
carry
father ain't
guns
helping.
And he's not.
His father ain't helping with
His inner
sunglasses
circle
in the
is
front row. Yeah,
his inner circle is destructive.
Which are three stories now, right? One is the video with the gun. The other one now is him punching a 17-year-old 12 times and coming out with a gun to him, and then his his buddies getting kicked out of banned from the arena.
The guy Pack, yeah. And then like even his father with all the talking to whoever else's fathers, and that's fun. But like you got sunglasses on inside
front row with the drink in your hand, schmoozing with everybody on
with
the
a
sidelines.
big chain,
it's like,
dude.
yeah.
Just watch the game. Be proud of your kid.
Be proud of your son. Absolutely.
Be proud of your kid. And I want to like Josh so much, and I'm disappointed in what I'm seeing. And in this same week, Zach Stacy stuff is resurfaced, and that's disturbing. That's disturbing. You can't do that to a dude,
anybody.
let alone a female, in front of a child.
Everything's on video now. You're not getting away with anything. Just you know what? Stay home.
In front of a child.
Stay home once in a while, and
in front of a child. So like, you know, there's a line, and like any other circle of life, I guess, there's good people and there's other people, and I'm just hoping that Ja's not one of them other people, because he's a talent and kind of like an NFL tailback with the shelf life now. These athletic guys, they can't last that long with just on sheer athleticism, and it takes me back to Jordan. Jordan, when he was doing this stuff, was no different than what Ja's doing. Ja's no different than what Jordan was doing. But then when he decided, I'm going to figure out a way to score where I don't have to jump over everybody and then get tackled, and that fadeaway.
yeah, every year he worked on something different in the offseason.
Dude, he kind of like CC, just reinvented himself, probably on the highest level.
Mm-hmm.
And like Brady wishes he could be Jordan right now and figure something else out, but he couldn't, so he quit, and he should have. But Ja has only got a few years like this. Look at Westbrook. The guy was in it.
It's a good comp, actually.
He's
Allen Iverson, when he got slowed down, just wasn't the same dynamic player. But it happens. That's the evolution of life.
Who always wins? Father Time.
Mm-hmm.
And the only thing we have that you can't put a price tag on is time. With your kids doing whatever you want to do, he has time right now at the peak of his athleticism to be special. And you got to be doing guns?
Yeah,
dude?
what do you think? He's got about a 7-year window here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But, like, listen, guns? For what reason? For what reason? Are people trying to kill him? Why
I don't have an answer. Obviously, none of us live in that life.
Why
so.
that kind of flex?
That's what it is, Mac. It's a flex. You said it. And the Grizzlies are in turmoil now. Their coach is great, by the way. Jenkins, he's unbelievable. They lost Brandon Clark for the year. I said that yesterday.
Yeah.
Saw that.
I mean, he's a great role player for them, and now without having Ja and him.
Yeah, this coach didn't ask for this.
No.
Poor guy.
It's funny. They were talking about Jordan yesterday because we talked about load management on the show 5 times. Mm-hmm. They're talking about Kawhi, and they mentioned Jordan. You know, he played 82 games 9 times in his career, and 81 once.
Get out of here.
That's Jordan.
You know,
I mean, the guy got beat up by the Pistons when they let them get in the air.
Tackled.
He played every game for 9 years.
You know an organization that does not believe in load management? The New York Knickerbockers. Those guys play every game. You could say what you want.
Yeah, Randall's there every game.
They all play every game, and they all play 35 minutes regardless of what the score is.
You could not wait to bring up the Knicks.
I figured it was a smooth transition to a team that's won 8 in a row and have a big game tonight against the Celtics. You got to give me something. I've waited a quarter century.
Celtics can't beat them.
Hold on. You've waited a quarter century for what?
For an 8-game winning streak.
For Charles Smith to miss a layup?
Don't bring that up. That was more than 25 years ago.
We're going to get back to Charles Smith in a minute, by the way. But for Ewing for Starks to melt down, for who else? Oh, for Reggie? For Reggie to hit some threes? LJ. No, Loddy.
Tell me the Knicks aren't fun right now.
Hart is a game changer.
I was wrong about him. I admitted it.
I was right about him.
And he only scored 4 points, and he impacted that game every second he was out
Brunson gives him such a better dynamic with that ball, and his footwork is great.
The Villanova boys. Who was their coach? What a teacher of fundamentals. Seriously. And I'm not trying to be funny. Jay Wright, you watch Hart and Brunson and Bridges with the Nets now, those guys, everything is a jump stop. It's a pivot. It's beautiful to watch. It's almost like we're not watching the NBA with those guys.
You got to check out this YouTube video by Jay Wright, a drill called Get 50.
Yeah, we've done that.
Yeah, and like you hear all these guys or see these guys and girls on Twitter saying, I got 500 up today, I got this up today. I heard Ray Allen on the UConn telecast last year say, all these kids saying that to get all these shots up,
Too many shots.
they're not shooting them the right way. He goes, the more they take, the worse they're getting. He goes, I'd rather take 50 shots the right way. So Jay Wright's get 50 layups, elbow jumpers, like normal shots, and they got to take them the right way. Game speed, great drill for kids. You guys got to check that out, Jay Wright. Is he done like for good, you think?
I don't know, but watching the UConn Nova game, I know we'll talk about UConn in a second. Without him on the sidelines, it didn't seem right to me last night. But you don't hear about him. He's doing some studio stuff, I believe, for CBS.
Is he?
Yeah, through
Yeah.
the tournament, I know he is. I think he's going to pull Sean Payton and come back in a year or something.
I'm going to tell you something. I bet he'll have a double-breasted suit.
NBA or college?
Boy, I hope he comes back to college.
I do, but that's the money's in it. Well, not anymore.
Just to get back to this Brunson thing for a second, nobody thought he was going to be this good, right? And when he signed that contract, everybody's like, that's a lot of money for what?
Brunson,
But you never really know until you step out of somebody's shadow. At Dallas, wasn't getting a lot of playing time. Only one guy gets the ball in that organization. Well, the two guys now.
They
But
stink
back
right
then,
now.
One back then. And you really didn't see what he can do until the playoffs last year when he was putting up big numbers. So maybe this was always there, and we've always talked about it because we have children that play sports. Everybody develops
Differently.
at different rates of progress, right? And maybe he's comfortable. He's got the ball in his hands for 36 minutes a game now, and the organization gave him the keys. And maybe sometimes that's all some of these guys need.
Opportunity.
And a lot of them never get that chance.
Opportunity.
Right? They're just stuck in bad situations.
He has an opportunity, and look what he did with it.
Yep. I'm glad he's on our side. You'll find out tonight, Dahnfather.
If we didn't have to play the Magic or the Knicks at all, we'd be 5 games
How
ahead
come
of
you
the
guys
Bucks.
can't beat the Magic?
3 games this year. It's unbelievable that we lost 3 games.
Is
We,
Tatum
the
and Brown
Celtics.
healthy
That guy's
finally?
not
The
bad.
tandem is back.
Who?
Paulo or
From Duke?
the Duke kid?
Yeah, Wendell Carter's good.
Carroll. They got Suggs.
Yeah, Wendell Carter's
Is
good.
Carter
Cole
from
Anthony's
Carolina?
Cole Anthony. Who? Wendell Carter was
Carolina. Oh, he's
Duke.
Duke.
Yeah.
good. So
Well,
all ACC team.
You know
huh?
what though? Here's another thing that stinks about the Dukes and the Kentuckys and the Carolinas and all the I guess blue bloods, the really elite ones. You used to know all the guys, and we have fun revisiting
Yeah.
the starting fives. They got different 5 guys every year because they leave after a year.
Well, that's what happened with me last night. I'm watching Duke, Carolina. Talking a little bit about college basketball maybe now. Duke starts 4 freshmen. Carolina brought everybody back from a team that should have beat Kansas in the finals last year. It was a very good final. Something hasn't meshed down in Chapel Hill this year with all those guys, and when Nance from Northwestern transferred
That's
over
right,
there.
yeah.
I mean, they got a ton of talent, and just something is amiss down there. Now, do they have enough time to kind of get going again? They got to get at least to the semis of their tournament, right?
You know what the
'Cause
real
right now
problem
they're
is?
on the bubble.
You know what the real problem is?
You thinking the coach Hubert's not tough enough?
They got a Nick coaching.
That's what it is.
UB.
That might be it.
You guys think Carolina's getting in?
No.
They got to do some damage.
Gun to
though.
your head, UB or Allen Houston?
As a player?
Yeah.
Oh,
Houston.
Allen Houston.
Yeah,
Yeah. Well, Houston.
he was fun.
Hubert Davis is a role player off the bench.
Didn't you coach against his daughter, Allen Houston?
She didn't play.
Oh.
That was a different division. She played Notre Dame. Was she
Fairfield.
Notre
No,
Dame?
they were in the tournament last year.
Yeah, but not against you guys though.
She didn't play. She had a broken nose or something like that. She was on the team
Oh,
last
she
year.
was on the team,
Yeah, because he was there.
right? No, Allen Houston
He
was a
was hard to
phenomenal shooter. Still in the Knicks organization. Not sure what his role is.
Is
but
he?
he's in the front office. Yeah. Duke, like I said, 4 freshmen. They play defense now with Shire.
Undefeated at home for the first
Undefeated at
time.
home,
I mean,
which is
They
I saw
also
that
have a
stat, too.
Northwestern transfer, or grad kid, one Ryan Young,
young, tough inside, interior, nice role player.
left-handed touch.
Yeah, I like him. But tournament's wide open, right? It's wide open.
It is.
You thought Kansas? Well, every
just
week
pray
it's a
that
different
Houston
player.
doesn't win it.
I know.
I can't look at that. I can't even look at him.
Calvin Sampson, he ruined Indiana.
It's a scumbag.
But Kansas looks so good, and then they go to Texas yesterday and they get pumped by 20. That's college basketball in a nutshell. There's no dominance.
I mean, what
this
about
year, right?
Alabama? I mean, those guys are killers.
I hope they lose in the first round.
Where's the Heat?
I don't know.
What's up with the
How
SEC?
does that happen?
What's up with the SEC? Look at the Georgia football player. I mean,
I
you guys
know.
going to be the top 3 pick.
I mean, we
and-
could have a whole segment on that. I can't believe that kid's playing.
So to your point, you watched that game last night. Like, I wasn't able to watch. I was supporting a friend, a man of the cloth, last night. But there were probably 20, 25, 30 straight years where the first Duke North Carolina game, you didn't miss it on Wednesday night.
And you knew when it was.
Oh, yeah. And then the last one, you didn't miss it.
Nope.
And I think, like, remember when they had ESPNU? Do they still have it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they used to replay these games. And I don't know if you remember when ESPN went to some, like, they were trying to put, like, cool graphics up there instead of, like, the normal, like.
Oh, I remember it.
But,
Yeah.
like, when my first child was being born and we're in, like, Showtime, the actual room, like, it happened to be on, like, a marathon of Duke, North Carolina. I was
You couldn't take your eyes off the
I
TV.
was
huh?
locked in.
You
I
wanna,
was like Vital. I had one going this way.
you want to hold your child? No. I mean, Carolina Duke is on right now.
And you can't stand either team, right? I mean, I don't root for either team,
No.
but I
it's-
watch it.
but it's
It's one
college
of those things you
basketball,
can't
yeah.
not watch it, though.
It's like Michigan, Ohio State football. You're going to watch it whether you root for either team or not.
Yep. And
What's
it used
going
to-
on in the Pac-10?
UCLA.
UCLA and Zona and a lot of bad
Are they
courts.
really coming to the Big Ten?
Yeah.
Then what happens out there?
They're going to have.
What are they doing?
I don't know. Well, it's the economics and money of college football.
Are they talking
Has-
about bringing
has ruined it.
Gonzaga right over to the Pac-10?
Yeah, they're going to maybe like BYU, like teams like that. From what some of
Gonzaga's
the
a
reports
great
are.
get for a basketball conference.
It is. but
Dahnfather, there's no money for Gonzaga. I mean, they probably generate a little bit of cash, right? Compared to football, and they don't have a team, right?
No.
Like, you can't, basketball, it can't be a basketball conference. It's the Pac-10. Bill Walton's beside himself.
We all know they're going to about 4 power conferences anyway, and they'll secede from the NCAA, right? These college football teams, these power brokers, they're going to leave and basically form their own league. You could see it coming. UCLA and USC in the Midwest Conference, right? It just doesn't
They're going
make
to play
any
at
sense.
Rutgers in a conference game?
Yeah,
That's 3,000 miles.
it's ridiculous. And is it just football only, or is it
No.
like lacrosse? Is it field? Like, is
Yeah.
it everything? You're talking about travel expenses and kids missing class time if anybody goes to school anymore. But lacrosse got a game Tuesday night in Northwestern. How quick do you think they're getting back to campus out in the West?
I'm sure Rutgers will have to play them in basketball on the road next year, both of them, and nothing at home.
Rutgers. All right, we're gonna jump. I'm gonna jump ahead. It's not Rutgers wrap up time. I'm gonna make it Rutgers wrap up time. They had a lead deteriorate the other night after a huge win at Penn State. By the way, crazy game. They cut it to 10 at the half, and I'm like, how are they only down 10? Then you're like, geez, couple good possessions to start the half. They give up 9 straight, down 19. Everyone had to think, click the remote, game over. Go right to Yellowstone or something like that, right? They win. The freshman puts them on their back. They win. Caleb, just elite. And then the other night they had a lead deteriorate at Minnesota. It was one of those like, oh, though that's a win. There's no guarantees, man. Those guys practice too. Bottom line is, they threw the ball to the lefty. Down 2, 3, 2. He lets it fly. It goes downtown. They lose by 1. You watch the replay. Travel. Period. Travel.
Well, the place that the Dahnfather and myself were for the Penn State game, there was no chance that game was getting shut off. But when it was 40-23, you could hear a pin drop. And then as the lead dwindled and dwindled, became more exciting, obviously. That Penn State win, and nobody knew it at the time. But based on what happened at Minnesota, that was a huge win. I mean, not to understate it. I can't think of another word right now. But that game was amazing. And then just for a few days later, to have a 10-point lead with about a minute and 15, and it didn't even seem real what you were watching. But again, you're talking about 18 to 22-year-old kids. Minnesota, give them credit, they made big shots. McConnell missed a big free throw.
McConnell is an elite competitor.
Yeah,
but
no doubt
I mean,
about
he's had a track record of missing those free throws.
But you're right about the freshman, and not to knock anybody else on the team, and certainly not judging from afar. I think for them to make any noise in March, he's got to have a bigger role in terms of his playing time, and they just got to maybe put their best athletes on the floor at once and see what happens, because he can go get his own shot. He's one of the few guys on the team that can really do that. I do enjoy watching him play, and again, I know, Dahnfather, you want to add some stuff on that, but the Penn State game, oof, it saved their season.
Well, here's the thing, though. You can only play 5 of them, so I mean, these jobs are tough. We're going to touch on the CIAC tournament in a minute. One of our dear friends is in the middle. He's in the mix. But, you know, it's decision time. And, you know, this is why children of all ages and college kids, they got to get outside themselves and, like, what's best for the team. And I believe in the coach and that kind of stuff. And it seems like those teams are always there at the end. You know what I mean?
Well, let's get tonight.
With those role players.
Is tonight a must-win or a should-win? Like,
well, if they lose,
I don't think they should win. I think it's a 50-50 game. I know it's at home, but
if they lose, and I don't even want to talk that way, they still finish 500
in the conference,
in the first or second best conference in the country. So their status for March for me is not going to be decided. But you just want to play really good basketball going into the tournament.
They can't with the way they select teams now. You can't lose the last 3. You can't lose at the worst team in the conference.
Agree.
At home on senior night, and then in the conference tournament. If they lose those 3, can't be in. They got to get one. Yeah. Could be tonight. Could be in a conference tournament. They got to get one.
Because you know when they do the metrics with all that stuff, they always say last 10 games. Eye test. Well, the eye test is going to look a lot better if they beat a Northwestern team that is really, really good.
So nobody can give them better focus, turn around after that game than Coach Peichel.
No,
he's the best.
They'll be ready to roll. That's not a problem. They got to make some shots.
Speaking of rolling, when they rolled the ball in, I had a still shot. I sent it to our friend because I rewatched the game.
Clock start right away or no?
It did.
Yeah, I thought so too.
But I couldn't understand why they were delaying it so long now.
10 minutes.
I honestly thought the guy might have stepped out. Which wouldn't be the first time, because Ohio State, the guy came from the freaking third row to make the 3. But anyway, that's the same place the guy made it from, by the way. So when they rolled the ball up, there's like a still shot of Coach Peichel like pointing at going like
get
this.
Up there and go.
And Simpson's behind him like this when they let him roll it. And for some reason, the guy didn't pick the ball up till like 5 feet before half court, 10 feet.
UConn.
Token pressure.
Something, fade it.
And the guys they just ran back.
Listen, I know that coach is giving them the right message, and sometimes, again, 18 to 22-year-old kids.
Crazy.
It happens. And then I watched the whole UConn game last night. They look good. Defensively, they look good. Villanova's not the same without Jay Wright, in my opinion. But UConn is definitely playing, besides that early season when they were in those tournaments against Florida and Bama and those type of teams, they're playing real well right now. Hawkins looks good,
and they had a rut where they were terrible, and the ebb and flow of a season is expected at this level. It's not like high school. You have 20 games. If you're the best team, you're just probably not going to lose once or twice. This is a grind, boy, did they pick the right time to start peaking again. So they hit a peak early.
Right.
And, Commish, these guys saying, 2 seed, 3. Get out of here, right? And then we saw what they were really about. And as the best teams do, they take the adversity. Mm-hmm. They win or learn. It looks like they learned, right? And now they're playing good team basketball. Do they have great guards? No. Do they have good interior players? Yeah. Do they have role players? Plenty of them.
Mm-hmm.
They're playing defense.
Rebound and defense.
And they're relying on, the one guy who get his own shot and the big guys.
They run nice stuff for Hawkins, and his release is lightning quick. You guys watch him.
Is he an NBA player?
Are you saying come out this year or eventually?
No. At some point.
I think so.
All right, so, who's that clown we had a couple years ago that left and everyone was like thinking he was like a Ray Allen type? He might have played. He might be in the NBA now. Might be in the G League. Like, what's his name?
That's Book Night.
Yeah, he stinks, right?
Well, he had gotten some trouble off the court, too.
He's hanging out with Ja.
Got caught in a car, passed out with a bag of Doritos and a gun.
I saw yesterday they had Hawkins projected as a late first-round pick.
I could see that. And if he comes back, his stock will keep moving up.
He's gone.
No. Dahnfather, you need hair product.
I don't know if he's gone, but he could shoot. That much I know.
Shoot what?
He could shoot the basketball. Not one player in the Big East made the Wooden Final 15 list. That's got to be the first time. But I like that league. It's rugged. Marquette, Xavier,
Can they rename
Creighton.
it, though? Do they have to call it the Big East? There's only one Big East. The old Big East.
30 for 30.
Dude, Syracuse is not in the ACC, no matter what anyone
no Boston
says.
College, no Syracuse.
I'm happy for Pitt, though.
Capel. Yeah.
Yeah. By the way, played 4 years, right?
Pitt and Miami at the top of the ACC. No one would have projected that at the beginning of the year. But let's throw it up.
What's
Next
Virginia
3 or 4
Tech
weeks.
in? ACC?
Yeah, and they lost. They lost their coach to A&M. Was it Peterson? Right.
Those are our teams.
Yeah, he was the coach for Marquette. Then he went down there for a second.
We had Rut, Tech, Pitt, Miami,
Notre Dame,
Cuse, and Notre Dame.
Louisville.
And Louisville. It's pronounced Louisville. Mm. Colonel Sanders with the white.
College football. You could thank him. That's why there's all that movement.
So a certain friend of ours who always would complain about, like, athletes got to get paid and they got to share. He was right. But that football money is pig money. And it's ruined it. Our kids are not going to have the same experience watching these tournaments and playoff scenarios and bowl games the way we did. At some point, it's going to get really fangled, and I don't even know if they care. They're too busy watching videos or TikToks.
When I watch college basketball in general, I try not to think about all that stuff because that's my favorite sport.
College football?
Basketball.
Yeah.
I try not to think about all that peripheral stuff, and I just like to watch the competition in the student sections and stuff like that. So I'm going to try to hang on to that for the next few weeks and just watch it for the
I got
competition.
you. I'll leave you alone then. But how about this? One of my favorite things is that first SEC game, football game, or first big conference game, the kickoff. The kickoff is so exciting. They should just end the game after the kickoff. If the guy gets past the 20, they're celebrating like they're Walter Payton. And if you tackle him before the 20, you get up like you're Lawrence Taylor, and the place just goes crazy.
How would you like to be a kick returner?
Oh, my God. What is with that?
I don't know.
That's inhumane.
I know.
Like a pinball.
Why would you do that?
If that's the only way you can get on the field, I guess that's what you do.
Yeah, whatever. So UConn, Rutgers. Let's hope for the best for both. Rutgers first.
Conference tournaments this week. Seeding's on a week from today.
Yeah, the little conferences already started, right? Like the Horizons and Sunbelts and stuff like that.
They usually do.
Did you see who punched their first ticket and how?
Who?
Fairleigh
Fairleigh
Dickinson,
Dickinson.
because Merrimack is in the transition of going 2-1. So they're playing Merrimack, and they allowed Merrimack to play in the conference finals. They said at the beginning of the year, but whoever they play against gets the automatic bid. So even if Fairleigh Dickinson loses today, they got an automatic bid to the dance.
Because you got to be in D1 for 3 years,
Yeah.
is it? Yeah, that's what I.
That's
what
stupid.
I read that too. Well, I
That's
don't understand
stupid.
what's the rationale with the transitioning. Like,
If
in
you're
Division-
ready, you're ready.
If you're in Division 1, you're in Division 1. Why do you have to wait 3 years to qualify for or be eligible for postseason play?
That's stupid.
Did you not know that?
No, that's stupid. I can't believe they're in a conference final
Yep.
and they can't. Whatever.
They
FDU.
can raise a banner, but that's it for the conference.
Let me talk about high school for a minute.
Okay.
Conference tournaments are wrapped up for boys. Girls are in the midst of their tournament.
Quarters for the girls.
3 weeks for the girls, 2 for the boys. No one will ever understand why.
Great week this
I'm
week.
sure they have their reasons, but my high school baseball coach, and I wish the commission and Angry were here for this, Coach Greg Hunt, got his 500th win Friday night in the conference tournament championship against crosstown rival Litchfield. Side story, those schools are merging. Next year is the last year with Wamogo Litchfield. The year after that, there'll be one school.
Powerhouse.
Here's the thing, though. Like, Class S, powerhouse is strong, but when you play Wamogo, you are facing man-to-man defense. After a make, you're going to face a little pressure, 2-2-1 press. And you're going to see on offense motion like it's Hoosiers, like Hickory's running it, right? And no matter who you are, they're throwing down the old number 1.
Forget about the curveball, Ricky. Give him a heater.
Old number 1. The old fastball. And everybody knows it. In our conference, in the Birch League Conference this year, there was a team that everyone thought would be Dynamite Northwestern. They owned them. So he gets his 500th win against a Thomaston kid where he used to coach baseball. Litchfield's Dan Gazinski, who was in the studio a couple weeks ago. But I want to get back to Coach Hunt in a minute because we're going to have him as a guest. The guy's just special. And I have the right to say that because I've been through the best and worst with him. But Dan Gazinski did not make the tournament with Litchfield Cowboys. Those kids work hard. I see them in the offseason. They work very hard. And they got some skill. But if he beat them that night, should they go to the CIAC dance?
Well, you brought that up when I saw you on Friday. I think it's a great idea.
Automatic bids.
Why not?
Automatic bid for a conference tourney champ. A lot of these divisions, and we talked about it last week, my proposal, they can't get 32 teams to fill up a bracket anyway. So maybe you get a couple extra teams in each class. I love it.
Yeah, it's a great idea.
I love it for the kids. Again, we're all about the kids.
That's
For
all
the
I'm thinking
kids.
about. These are 14, 15, 16, 17-year-old kids. Like, who's to say they can't go nuts for 2 weeks? What if they're knuckleheads? They're in trouble in school. One of them's sick.
Yeah,
This one's got
they've
that.
had injuries throughout the course of the year.
And then all of a sudden they put it together? They can't be in a tournament?
Go on a magic carpet ride for a couple weeks, something they'll remember the rest of their life. But why not? We need some juice in our tournament.
We got nothing.
We got nothing.
CIAC vanilla.
Well, we got our guy Big E. He's going to go to the committee. He's going to propose, and that should be in addition to his proposal.
La Fortuna.
Can we get a sponsorship there?
Well,
Well, we do now. I mean,
They
we
haven't
gave him-
sent
we
in
just
a
gave-
check.
Just gave him a plug.
Skygazer Brewing, sponsorship. L&R Tax Associates, sponsorship.
La Fortuna in Woket, Connecticut, legit.
Yeah, let's go.
We'll work on it.
Little chicken parm.
They do a good job there.
Yeah. So we gotta let conference tournament because how many times will it happen? Be 2 or 3 times a decade where a team that didn't qualify all of a sudden goes nuts. Get them in.
Get 'em in.
Rare. It's rare.
It's for
sure.
the kids.
For the kids. For the kids.
Anyway, CIAC tournament. Let's talk about it. Talk girls first because they're in the throes right now. Going to the quarters. Let's talk locally. St. Paul Catholic going down to East Hampton.
Only team left around here.
Coach Sean Russell. For girls.
I'm talking for girls. And nobody left.
Coach Sean Russell reinstated as he should have been. What a game. That's good. I worry about the environment. That's a unique gym. Last time I was there, huge, like almost the whole wall is a mural of a bell ringer. You know, like a
Yeah, they don't have
town
they have
crier.
bleachers only on one side there.
Right.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
like a town crier
It's gonna be
type of
crowded.
thing.
Yep.
Crazy good game. I wish I could be there, but I won't. I'll be rooting for the Thomaston Bears. Coach Brian Moslak facing Northwest Catholic,
Oh, boy.
Class S.
Tough matchup for Northwest too. Tough matchup for them.
So getting back to CIAC, and I used to, the old guys, I loved them. I don't know who these guys are now, but like, actually, one is a heck of a good guy. I don't know which committee he oversees, but former principal of Colby. My buddy Henry, baseball guy. But Colby, Northwest Catholic, East Catholic, Capital Prep.
St. Paul.
They're in Class S.
Oh, all those teams Class S.
In
yeah.
girls. Like, the whole thing was to get schools of choice out of the small.
Yeah. So for girls, they're Class S, but for boys, those same schools, they're not in Division 5. They're in
Division
they're
1.
scattered throughout all different
Well,
divisions.
Northwest is in 1. East
East is in
Catholic's
1.
in 1. They're
They're
probably going
fourth
to
in
face
1.
each other at Mohegan. Right? What is going on? And by the way, the girls committee back in the day, they never wanted a 5th division. They didn't want it. And that was when I was on my way out, they didn't want it, and they're right. They shouldn't have it.
Should have stayed with 4. You got teams with winning 6 games getting in. Did you see some of the first round scores in the girls, especially?
Single
I'm talking
digits.
72-9, 63-15. You were at a game the other night. What was it?
60 to 15.
60-15. But hey, good luck to the Lady Falcons. And if you guys haven't seen them, listeners, get to that game and get there early. They got some players. They got some players from Bristol.
Only good luck to the Lady Falcons?
No, I'm talking to the Dahnfather.
Okay. Well, I'm talking to you.
Vested
You're not-
interest. Vested interest.
Good luck to the Lady Bears,
Oh, okay. There we go.
right? Our great buddy Mosey,
I also want to say good luck to Pomperog, who's number one
in L.
and the skipper, Joe Fortier, Thomaston baseball player.
Playing North Haven, who's Pomperog better be ready. North Haven can play.
I know, but they just beat Hill House. And
I saw
Hill
that.
House, tough.
But Hill House got the
They killed. Oh, they got the kid from wherever
Yeah,
married him.
yeah.
They killed Notre Dame Fairfield, who's last year was one of the best teams in the state. And also want to wish Northwestern girls luck. They're actually a really fun team to watch. Former rival of mine, but you can't take anything away from Hall of Famer Fred Williams. 700 wins.
Jeez. What seed are they?
And actually, I think he just maybe beat the guy the all-time leader. He's John Wooden. They're the, I don't know what they are. They're the 1 or the 2. And Berks League team, small town conference. You don't get to play Notre Dame and Hill House during the year unless you schedule them, right? You play the other bad teams, and but they're in a quarter. And if you've seen them play, they got some pieces, and one of them's special and only a sophomore. So good luck to them. They're alive. Let's talk about the boys tournament. We got Bristol Central. We're gonna wish them good luck against Northwest Catholic, and then we're gonna move on to baseball because doesn't matter what they have in terms of luck. It's over. OVA. Over. Bristol Eastern, a really interesting game against Seymour, who has Ivan Drago left-handed.
Tough
Caden
game.
Drezick.
Tough game for Coach Ray.
And Eastern loaded with guards, and Seymour has Rocky. They got Clubber Lang.
A whole town of Seymour would be there, and that gym only fits about 400 people. So that's a rowdy environment. Even when Seymour is not good. And
Valley.
They got 15 wins this year. They're pretty good.
In the Valley, they're nasty down there too.
What's the line on that game?
Eastern's getting, but Eastern could shoot.
Listen,
them.
I would not be surprised if Eastern won that game.
They could shoot. They could shoot
they
their
got
way
players
home.
over there.
Back on the bus. They really could. Who's Mills play?
Mills is Division 3. They were top 10 seed. I'll check it out.
Coach Hunt's Wamogo team. Freddie Camp's Northwestern team. We wish them all luck.
How about
Mills
the boys from
intrigues me.
Maltby Street?
Well, I'm going to get to them last.
Okay.
So, by the time AJ Bennell finally puts this up, because he took his time last week, the Falcons visiting the Wilby Wildcats, and in a huge cavernous gym. Wilby's got to be favored by 6.5.
That seems a little steep.
That's high.
It was a 1-point overtime loss the
I know.
first time, and it'll be a home game for St. Paul.
But all the talk was that Crosby's best players are at Wilby. Mm-hmm. So does that mean all the Crosby players stunk? Because
No. All right, Wilby's very athletic. They're very, very skilled. I just think St. Paul might have a little something to say about it.
they should, because it's tournament time. But I'm saying it's 6.5
Yeah, 6.5.
at Wilby. Who you taking, Dahnfather?
I'm going Falcons all day. Cover and win outright.
Are you going?
I will be there.
Let's go.
I can't say anything. I'm not.
Yeah, he
I'm not
can't.
Pete Rose.
It's Pete Rose.
I can't do the Pete Rose thing.
Mike Donahue, the official?
Dan Donahue.
No, the official.
Yeah. Was
That
it
got in
Dan
trouble.
Donahue
No,
or
that's
whatever?
your AD or something
No,
like that.
that's Dave.
I got you. I'm kidding. No, so Coach Ryan Raponi, Mills, does a heck of a job. They're playing Newington. Tough draw, but what else are you going to get? I mean, you got to get a
Yeah,
tough draw.
they
State
got.
tournament.
They're in the second round because I believe they got a first round bye. So
8-9 matchup.
second round, and you're in Division 3,
How
which
does
is
a 9 seed get a bye?
because only 21 teams qualified.
They both got byes?
So the top 11 teams.
Why do we have 5?
And that's to our point. It's got to go back down to 4 divisions.
Jeez.
And our new addition, conference championship. You win your tournament, you're in.
Get them in.
You're in. If you haven't already qualified. I mean, most conference tournament winners are qualified for the most part.
Yeah,
but there
but
might be
every
one or
once in
two
a while-
outliers.
Every once in a while. And it almost happened in the Berkshire League.
21 teams qualified in one division when you're trying to round out a division with 32 teams.
I think we should have 2 more divisions.
I don't know.
What is going on? CIAC, wake up.
8-9 both have buys. That's unbelievable.
Division 1, everybody's in the second round. In West Hills in Division 1, they didn't win a game.
They won 1.
One game. They're in the second round. How'd you guys do? We lost in the second round. Nobody knows the record. Oh, second round? You guys did pretty good.
Oh, good year.
That's not bad.
Lost
in 19.
Lost a nail biter to East Catholic in the second round. East Catholic. Give me a
Oh, we
break.
would have went farther, but I mean, we had to play East.
Yeah,
right?
after we got by the first round, we ran into Luke and the boys.
Is that quarterfinals? Is that the quarterfinals?
No, third round is quarterfinals.
Okay.
What a joke that is.
You been watching the combine stuff for the NFL?
A little. I watched a little last night. Watched some clips. I'm only going to talk about quarterback for a second. They said the number 1 rated quarterback from after all the drills was Anthony Richardson from Florida. He set records in standing broad jump, vertical jump, both qualities you need as a quarterback because you throw a lot of jump passes and trying to jump over the line. I didn't get why they put that out
Why
there.
is that important? Brady was a slob at the combine.
Well, did you see what Anthony Richardson named himself? Cam Jackson. Because he's a combination of Cam Newton and Lamar Jackson.
Oh, boy. He named himself that?
Yeah. Those are role models. And he's bragging because you had the 5th highest 40 ever at the combine for a quarterback? You know who had the first highest? Nobody does, because his name is, I don't even know what his name is until I wrote it down. Reggie McNeil from Texas A&M.
Oh, Reggie.
Household name. The fourth highest, Denard Robinson from Michigan.
I remember him.
I liked him. Number 2.
Yeah, we made a big splash in the NFL, right? So that shows you how much a 40-yard dash means. Why don't you name yourself Peyton Brady?
Didn't
Guys that
the
played for 20 years.
NFL Player Association head come out and say they want to do away with the combine?
Yes, he did. And
Yeah.
what you see, Levis, our boy from Xavier, they were asking him why he was so anxious to throw. He said, because I know I can throw the ball 80 yards on a fly. They said he threw it 78 yards on a fly yesterday.
Did he throw it to his intended receiver?
No.
Or?
But he threw it. He would just wanted to
Oh,
throw
he just
the ball.
threw it, like not to anybody, just throwing
Just
it.
wanted to show everybody how far he could throw it. Threw it 78 yards on a fly.
What do you think? He's got a chance?
Oh, yeah, I think he's got a chance. He'll
What round, though? Is what I'm
first.
saying.
He'll be a top 10
No
pick.
kidding. Connecticut product, first round.
Richardson that's the question. Is Richardson leapfrog him with his strong combine performance, which I think is a joke, but it's clearly going to be Stroud and Bryce Young, and then those two are going to be top 10. They think 4 in the top 10.
I don't want to oversimplify this thing, but I'm going to look at game tape when I'm making a decision and evaluating versus the combine. If I'm a NFL front office
It's
guy,
a showcase. How do you compete?
There's nobody rushing you. There's nobody rushing you as a quarterback.
What's
at
your
this
glaring
combine, right?
example recently? Zach Wilson. Guy made one running away 60-yard pass on a dime. He
Yeah.
got drafted number 2.
Everybody went nuts
just because
off
of
of
that.
that.
I mean, people aren't going to draft Bryce Young number 1 because he's 5'10 and a half or 5'10 and 1/8.
Weren't they saying the same thing about Hurts? I mean, I know Hurts is taller, but if you're a winner, you're a winner, especially in the conferences that they play in the competition. If you win and you're putting up numbers, I don't care if you're 5'11 or 6'3. That's just me. Drew Brees.
And Bryce Young not throwing
Right.
at the combine. He's really the only top quarterback prospect who didn't throw at the combine. But they said C.J. Stroud lit it up in the throwing drills. Like they said, he lit it up. He was the most accurate passer in the combine. They said he was throwing 3 60-yard passes in a row, right on target to moving receivers. 60-yard dimes, 3 in a row.
And when they have these receivers, and I'm not trying to be funny, are there people defending the receivers?
No, they're just them running fly routes.
No, they're
basically.
running around with like tight clothes on.
So it's
Look
like
a
it's like
Hanes
these
commercial.
basketball.
They look like Burns.
Yeah, it's like
Burns
these
runs
basketball
pattern.
trainers, and we know
Shorts tucked in.
we know a lot of these basketball trainers. And I'm not knocking anybody, but
Jim Palmer.
when you train, shouldn't there be somebody guarding you? I mean, I don't know, because during the games, it's not 5 versus. Oh, the last time I checked,
Somebody might get hurt.
combine,
Joke.
NFL free agency. Any word on
How about
Rodgers?
Byron?
Yeah,
Did
we
you
want
see
to talk
that?
about that for a second.
Go for it, yeah.
Byron, out of New Britain, St. Paul High School product, went to UConn. Here's a kid that the combine helped, right? Because coming out of UConn, I think he was 2nd, 3rd, 4th round projected. His numbers at the combine were off the charts. Sports Illustrated actually had a little article about him when he was going through the combine. Signed a free agent contract after the Cowboys. Didn't re-up him with Miami. He never got on the field this year. Came out on Twitter a couple weeks ago and said he didn't come out and say he was retiring, but if you read between the lines, he basically said his body is destroyed. He can't run. He can't jump. Basically, he can't get out of bed. And it's a cautionary tale in his little Twitter account to say, you know, as much as you get paid to be an NFL football player, it might not really be worth it.
Don't do what they're telling you to do.
Yeah, like
don't take the
taking
pills. Don't take the
pills and the
injections.
shots and everything.
And if you think back to the whole concussion thing, even like the great movie, but like in the real world, what actually happened, right? They covered this stuff up for years, and like the Steve DeBergs and Jim McMahon's, they don't know their name.
I know.
You know, like, and duly so, these players are now being compensated for whatever time they put in the NFL. They're getting paid for concussion or CT. What do they call it?
CTE.
CTE, yeah.
They're getting paid for that CTE suit. One of which we know he's getting money, but that when you say cautionary tale, you got to go into it knowing you're probably gonna get your butt whooped.
Yeah.
You want that? Then here's what we're going to pay you.
And he was playing a position at his skill set where he wasn't involved in a lot of plays because they wouldn't throw his way. And this is still happening to somebody that wasn't a running back or a middle linebacker that was
Mixing it up
taking
every
on
play.
collisions every single play. He was like away from the ball a lot of the times, and again, he's struggling. We wish him well in terms of his health and all that, but
Just be a punter.
it's a tough sport. I mean, there's no disputing it, and they've tried to take a lot of the violence out of it that we grew up watching. It doesn't matter. These guys are bigger, stronger, faster. I don't care what the equipment is like and the modifications they think they've made. I didn't play competitive football, but obviously these guys are just
Tecmo Bowl?
you got guys at
Well, I heard you couldn't
265.
catch. Matt Pirog said you couldn't catch on a playground.
He did say that. Yeah.
We're gonna get Matty P down here. We'll talk about it in the studio
They double team him and then leave you wide open
he
in the
knows,
corner.
He knows better than that. He knows better than that. But these guys at 265 running 4 540s. I mean, come on.
Coke bottle glasses
you
used to wear. His Coke bottle glasses used to wear like squints from the.
I wasn't a glasses
Lucas?
guy.
Oh no.
Oh, who played Lucas in the movie?
Do you know?
Corey Haim.
Corey Haim. Yeah.
Get out of here.
Yeah.
Lost Boys?
Yes.
Wow.
Underrated movie, by the way.
Oh my God. So good.
Yeah, the only thing to note on free agency, by the way, Tuesday is the deadline for franchise tags. It's the last thing to watch, franchise tags, because they're talking about Lamar. They said they might give him the non-exclusive, which means other teams can actually make offers to him.
Yeah.
But then they would have to give the Ravens 2 first-round picks.
Whatever. All right. Listen. After how many years Ja play? 2, 3?
Ja, this is his 4th year because he came
Already?
out with Zion and R.J. Barrett were the top 3, and they're in their 4th year.
Okay, so Ja or Rose up till the Rose injury, the first one?
Derrick Rose.
No doubt.
Yeah. He won an MVP, and he was Isaiah.
What
Go
puts
ahead.
it over the top? The shooting?
What kind of shooting? What kind of shooting are you talking
slow
about?
down, flex. Go into the hoop. It's got to be Ja.
Yeah, Ja's highlight reel is pretty.
He's taking Ja. I know he is.
Ja's highlight reel is pretty special. Derrick Rose, again, I'm biased. You might be biased toward Ja, but Rose for me, just his leadership abilities at that point guard position. He could score, he could pass, he could defend. I'll take Derrick. Nothing against Ja.
I don't love Ja. I just
it's
like
close.
watching him better than I like watching Derrick Rose. Maybe that's it. He's a better watch, I think.
Yeah, maybe from an entertainment standpoint, but I just think Rose overall, by year 4, was already a better player. If he didn't get hurt, would have been an all-time great point guard. Do we agree on that?
Hold on. What'd you just say?
If he didn't get hurt, Derrick Rose.
Okay. If you think, okay, yeah.
You being wise
I mean,
about
yeah,
that?
he had a devastating injury that he could never fully recover from. But up until that point, he was must watch and one of the best players in the league.
I want to go back to that in a minute, but I'm gonna go Ja. And Rose was amazing. Like if you ever watch his like YouTube stuff, he was really good. All right, Ja. At this point, or Westbrook.
I'm going Westbrook.
I think Ja makes his team better than Westbrook does.
Through 4 years.
Yeah. I guarantee you Ja's team record with the Grizzlies, by the way, is better than without knowing.
Doesn't
he's better
Westbrook
than
have like the most triple doubles of all time?
Yeah.
How did he not make his team
And
better?
he was with Durant and Harden.
Well, you just pass the ball to Durant. He scores, so you can assist.
I don't know. They were in the finals when he was very young. Right?
Yeah, they lost to LeBron, right?
Yeah,
So
lost
who are
to
you
Miami.
taking?
I'm taking Ja.
I'm having a hard time with the off the court Ja stuff, like getting out of my head. I think that's where my bias lies. But like I said, I'm going Westbrook.
Okay.
Wow, he's over 2.
Right. I mean, these are all fair questions. They're very comparable.
I got to take Westbrook here because he throws bricks up there. He stays hot.
The first 4 years, he was
I
doing
took
he was
Westbrook.
doing stuff that we hadn't seen.
I took
Okay.
Westbrook. You want to know why? Early, before we realized he was a head case and didn't want to hear that he can't shoot. Early, they used the term downhill player.
Yeah.
There's no one more down. He's going down a cliff.
At 1,000,000 miles an hour,
That's what
too,
I'm
when he
talking
turned
about.
the corner on those handoffs.
I agree, but was
and he-
Westbrook the best player on his team ever in his first 4 years? No. He had the.
That's not his
Yeah,
problem.
I mean, he played with a generational.
But his
talent.
numbers were inflated because he said, pass the ball to Durant. That's 10 assists a game. Here, you shoot it. Here, you shoot it. Here, who's job passing to? Dylan Brooks, Desmond Bain.
For the sake of saving time, we won't go through the stats today, but I want to bring this back up our next podcast and compare the first 4 years statistically. Just to not to dispute what you're saying.
Angry Jay can do that. Yeah. Well,
Angry Jay. We'll give him something to do.
Is he a stat guy?
Jeez.
Bobby, come on. You kidding me? I mean, come on. It's not even close.
All right. Chris Paul, Ja. Different player.
Wow. Really, really different player. I didn't have to think on the other two. This one is, I'm trying to remember how good Chris Paul was in his first 4 years. Chris Paul's best 4 years, I'd say Chris Paul. But first four, honestly, I don't remember how impactful he was his first four. I'm assuming he was fantastic. I'm trying to remember back then. Best four, Chris Paul. First four, I couldn't probably give you an intelligent answer.
Who did he start with? The Hornets? No.
It was the New
New
Orleans.
Orleans, and then they tried to trade him to L.A. and the league
Vetoed
the
it.
league kiboshed it. He was going to play with Kobe.
Who you got? Paul or Morant?
I'm staying anti-Morant.
Wow. Loddy. Anyway. iPhone, Android.
I have an iPhone. I love my Android better. This is my first iPhone I've ever had that I have now. I miss the Android.
I knew you were going to say that because you're different. You know what I mean? Volvo, hair product. The Dahnfather does it all. Good luck to all the CIAC teams, or actually just the ones that we have vested interest in. And see you guys at Mohegan. Best month of the year. All you non-Irish people, try to pretend. Go Rutgers tonight. Huge game.
Huge.
This will be out after the game because Vanel's taking forever now to round mound to sound. But go Rut one time tonight. Just one time.
Place will be rocking.
Yeah. Oh, my God, it will be. Hey, Oscar's a senior? He is.
Palmquist?
Yeah. You can shoot it, man.
Yeah, you can.
Ja couldn't be reached for comment. All right. Skygazer, L&R.
Maybe La Fortuna. Maybe.
In the future, but like Big E's having a hard time ponying up the sponsorship. We'll get him. Coach Hunt, 500 wins.
Congrats,
Mosey.
Coach.
Let's go Mosey.
Go get him, Mose.
Go Bears.
Falcon boys and girls this week. Thanks, everybody.